この間の結婚の話ですが。
あ。
やっぱりあと少しだけ考えさせてください。契約が終わるまで。
わかった。
All right, my friends. So this week I did my due diligence for Unnamed Memory, and I just had to check out. I did a little investigatory work to validate: is there a season 2? And the reason I wanted to start off this video with that is the short answer to that question is no, there's not. Not that there won't be, just that there's nothing announced yet. And for the most part, it's pretty typical. We usually don't hear anything about season 2 until the literal end. For very confident studios in their program, at the end of the literal episode, they'll announce a season 2. You know, I think last time I think of something doing that, I think it was Mushoku Tensei, but essentially they're like, join us for the next season. It doesn't say anything definitive. It just basically says, hey, it's going to exist. It's coming. That's a rarity. For the most part, we usually get some kind of Twitter post, some kind of blog, maybe something on their website, but typically it's Twitter where the studios will go to and they'll be like, thank you so much for watching, blah, 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 join us for the next season or something. Then you have shows that you don't hear anything for a while, but then there'll be a Tokyo show or an anime event or something, and then they'll announce we're in the works of making a brand new season. Now, I did my due diligence because my main problem last week and this week is Unnamed Memory has been losing focus. And I've always said from the beginning that I think this show nails something special between Oscar and between Tinasha. It nails something really special between them, with this prince with a very weird backstory where his dad pissed off a witch, whether that was his mom or whomever, and she basically said, "Alakazam no penis 𝐒𝐿𝐴. And she did that to both of them, the son and the dad. And we still haven't gotten to the bottom of what did the dad do to cause either a specific witch to go no dicky worky, or what did he do to his moms? If that witch is his mom, what did he do to his mom to make again, flaccidly amis, we still haven't gotten to that. We still haven't gotten that backstory. But I've always thought the show was unique about Oscar and Tinasha and their love story, about a prince, and about a witch who has never experienced love, kind of coming together. And I think, in multiple cases, it's strayed away from that core storyline where I think it makes it special. And it's tried to do too much, and it's tried to establish the world. Now, this week's episode, we did go in and we did meet the Demon Lord. I was like, that's really cool. Like the Demon King, the Demon Lord, this guy named Travis. I was like, oh, so Demon Lord, they exist to that level here. We know that there's demons and there's demon attacks and stuff, but the Lord or the King of the demons exist, kind of like, Hero Demon King. That's cool. So we got to learn that exists. And the Demon King has this weird social, parasocial, very unique relationship with the witches because they know of him, he knows of them, which makes sense. I think as Tinasha mentioned this episode, witches are really long-lived. So because of that, it just makes sense. They're really powerful in the hierarchy of the world. They live a long time. It makes sense that there'd be some kind of relationship between the king of the demons and the witches. So that makes sense. So I thought that was a really cool thing. But again, I'm going to harp on the fact of this is episode 10. We have 11 and 12 left to wrap up our love story. Or the opposite, this leads us. I'm okay with it saying, hey, we have this big story to tell. The love story is going to kind of be on the back. You're going to see little remnants of it. You're going to see little kisses and little bath and, little bath times and stuff. But, you're not going to see the end of their love story until, that contract Tinasha keeps mentioning. Yeah, 6 months from now in the show, you'll see that love story, come to fruition. But until then, we're opening up this world with the witches and the demons, and that's cool if they have the time. And I just don't know if Katakawa and Engi and ENGI, I think is a studio name. I just don't know if they have that, if the show's doing that well in Japan. I never see anybody talk about this show outside of me personally. I never see anybody covering this show ever. I never see it on Twitter or Reddit. So that tells me this show's probably not doing like crazy numbers in the West. So then it's really dependent on Japan. And I don't know if it's really that popular in Japan either. So it's like, are they going to get funding for season 2? Are we opening this big world to just end the show? And then how are we going to end the show? So this episode I thought was a pretty good episode. I don't want to stray away from this episode specifically. Learning about the Demon Lord, learning the Demon Lord exists. Tinasha and Asuka getting closer. Tinasha and Asuka talking about marriage and talking about having babies and talking about having children, and Tinasha's worries about bringing children into this world, and if they're a girl they're definitely gonna be a witch. If they're a boy they're gonna have an exponential amount of magic, and her having some real worries there. I really enjoy that side of the conversation. Learning about a witch who, Tinasha basically just pissed off and she's out here to get her, and the Demon Lord. I think that's interesting. My main concern, though, with all this cool stuff we're learning and the setup is just we have 2 episodes left. What can you do with all this new plot in 40 minutes within 2 more episodes? So that's my concern. So anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. I'll see you guys next week for episode 11. Maybe they'll bring us back and find a way to make this work. I just don't see it without getting us another 12 episodes at least. So those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. I'll see you next week.